Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Princess Jerry Cannoli, and next to me is John Nistico. John is an electrician here on Long Island who volunteered with the American Red Cross operating their ham radio during 9/11. So, John, tell us what is going on?
I've been an American Red Cross volunteer since 1989, doing most of their radio operations. Ground Zero was probably my toughest event of all the ones I've been to. We handled hundreds of thousands of transactions. My primary job was to make sure that everybody had what they needed on the pile. We handled meals, medical assistance, equipment. Everything that went in and out of Ground Zero went through me to the Red Cross in Brooklyn.
All right. Tough stuff here. It's gets to me a little bit. When you first got down there, what went through your mind? Besides holy S.
It was actually kind of hard to believe the amount of devastation that was there. I had a unique perspective. That morning of September 11th, I actually got to watch everything happen live. I was working on the 11th floor of a building in the Bronx that overlooked the Manhattan skyline, so my crew and I got to watch everything firsthand. So I knew as it unfolded I was going to wind up being down there. I just literally didn't realize how much devastation it was going to be when we got down there. It was just...
I was down there after, and it was a huge hole. It was huge. I couldn't even describe what I saw.
Well, when you got there, it was a hole. When
Yeah.
I got there, it was a 6-story high pile of debris.
Wow. And you guys had to sift through that. Wow. How were the conditions down there?
Basically, hell looks like a vacation spot compared to Ground Zero. I was in Hurricane Katrina. My first disaster event was the 1989 earthquake in San Francisco, and both of those events, which would deem catastrophic, were nothing compared to what I saw down there.
Yeah, they said friends of mine have worked down there, and they were telling me some stories, and I was like, I don't want to hear about fingers and limbs and body parts. That's just things I just don't want to discuss. Oh boy. So as we're going on, let's see. Were you there for the whole entire cleanup?
I was there for the first probably 29, 30 days, which was actually a surprise to me because I was told I was going to be there 72 hours, and then I would be relieved.
Oh.
So...
Were you relieved after 72 hours, or were you still on the go?
No, I went there and never went home. I got there at 3:30 a.m. on September 12th, and I got home at 4:08 in the afternoon on October 9th.
Where did you sleep? What?
Shower,
clothing.
Fortunately, we were in a school where they held all the press conferences. I met the president, the governor. I met Rudy Giuliani, nice guy, by the way, I like him. So we basically slept at the school. Fortunately, a few days into our mission, we, had places where we could freshen up and, do laundry and stuff like that. We trucked water in because there was no water, there was no gas. So, we had to hang our skivvies out to dry on the fence. So it was camping.
Camping.
In some retrospect.
How about your health before?
Before 9/11, I was healthy as an ox.
And after?
I have 2 different forms of cancer. I've had 5 surgeries in the last 3 years. I've had 20% of the middle lobe of my right lung removed. I've had 2 holes drilled in my sinus bone. I have a bone graft in the bone above my left eye because the pressure from the mass was so great that it cracked my intercranial bone. So yeah, pretty much a wreck.
Wow. And what are you doing now?
Besides sitting here talking to you, working.
This guy's a wise guy, too. I just want everybody to know this guy's a wise guy. And I'm trying to be serious here, but I have a tendency of making light of everything.
If you can't joke about it, it would drive you insane. I'm working. I'm an electrician. We do a lot of work here on Long Island. We have some big commercial accounts, a couple of nice residential accounts. I don't let it stop me. Actually, I thought Ground Zero was going to be my last tour of duty, but I wound up going down to Houston for the floods in between my second and third operation, I think. And then I went down to Florida when they had their hurricane. And they asked me to go to Puerto Rico for Hurricane Maria, but I was actually having surgery that day, so I couldn't go.
What possesses you to do these things?
I just like helping people, I guess.
Okay. You get paid for this?
Nope.
Nothing. So how do they take? I guess the Red Cross takes care of your lodging and your meals then.
Yeah, they take care of all of that. They transport me to and from. All the radio equipment is all my own.
How did you get involved with that?
I got involved in it. I've been a radio buff my entire life. I got my first CB when I was 13, and I wanted to know how it worked, so I took it apart. I mean, took it apart. I mean, I unsoldered every component and then put it all back together.
Why?
Because I could. Because I wanted
Gotta love this guy.
Because I wanted to. I didn't want to be one of those people, and I do the same thing in my job and in my life. I don't want to be one of those people where you put something in front of them like a computer and they operate it and they don't know the workings of it. I want to know how things work.
Oh, like me? And this?
And yes, like you,
Yeah.
your laptop.
I threaten it all the time. I tell it it's going to grow wings.
I do the same thing at work when they come out with like a new electrical device or something. I take it apart to see how it works and what makes it work. It's just one of those things. I'm just interested in how things work.
Okay. Me, I'd rather just stuff it with fireworks, and I would have been good at demolition. I have ideas.
Some of my best days are demolition days when you don't have to think. You just do.
Line it up and boop.
That's it.
Yeah, that's right up my alley. So, what do you see in your future with the Red Cross? Are you going to go out and help more, or you going to take a break, or?
That's a tough question, and it's one I'm asked a lot, and I'm asked a lot by the Red Cross on what my future with them is. As of right now, the answer to that is uncertain. I think I'm going to be more selective to the events that I go to. One of the things that bothered me about 9/11 was the cover-up and the lying to us about the conditions when we got there, which has led to probably we've lost more first responders than we've lost people in the towers that day.
Yeah.
We average about 197 responders a year.
That pass from cancer related.
Cancer, heart disease, skin cancer is now becoming one of the most prominent first responder killers. And, the day of September 11th, Christine Todd Whitman, the former governor of New Jersey and at the time head of the Environmental Protection Agency, told us, yeah, no, it's fine. Air quality is perfectly acceptable. You can go down there and do your job.
Really?
That's what she
I'm,
said.
I'm gathering this would anger you. It would definitely anger me.
Well, it angered me enough later on. Immediately, it didn't. I was like everybody else, and okay, we got the all clear. Let's go. We got a job to do. As people started to get sick, and as I started to get sick, then I started to question the EPA's findings.
Well, we won't discuss the EPA because where my old house is, they told me that there was nothing wrong with my house because there's nothing wrong with the bus company across the street from me. So why is there black gunk on my windows all the time?
It's exhaust.
Yeah, but I don't think that would really bother me at all. It's definitely not going to bother my lungs according to the EPA.
Well,
That's a big wink there, guys.
well, again, one of the things about being at ground zero and everything that's been said, the conspiracy theories, and all the rest of it, I was in an area where I was exposed to multiple government agencies, high-ranking military officials. I heard a lot of talk about a lot of things that people don't even know I know about.
Well, I heard from people city workers. I won't mention names or where they work in the city, but they were telling me that after all this happened, they were saying that a couple of days prior to the attack, that they were soldering the manhole covers down around the area.
Yeah, I would probably believe that to be true.
So, yeah, I'm thinking they knew about this.
There was chatter, what they call in the intelligence business as chatter, that something might happen, and precautionarily, that's a precaution that they take. Chatter, gossip, whatever you want to call it, hearsay, is one thing, but when you knowingly and willingly lie to people and put their lives in danger, that's conspiracy. That's uncalled for. There were some of us, myself included, would have went down there regardless of what the conditions were.
But you would have been
I
better
would have been more
prepared.
prepared
Yeah, of
had
course.
I known. I think the problem with the EPA, our government, and people who were involved in 9/11 is they think that it'll just go away. If you throw enough money at it, it'll leave. But the problem is that human nature wants closure. So one of the things that I have taken a personal interest in is giving people that closure. I have come across several individuals who were down there who still held the filters from their respirators from 9/11. So those filters have been gathered and have been sent to an independent laboratory to find out exactly what was in the air the day that we went down to September 11th.
Yeah. I was thinking that, when was the towers built? They were in the 70s, right? It was
Mid-70s.
mid-70s, yeah. I would think there's a lot of asbestos in there.
There's a lot of
starters.
There's a lot of that. You're probably going to find high levels of mercury because of all the fluorescent lighting. A lot of lead because a lot of the old plumbing that was in there was pre the lead ban. So a lot of the solder joints were done with lead solder, so you're going to find a high content of lead. But there's a lot of other stuff you're going to find in there that you're not going to expect. There's going to be a lot of fiberglass. There's going to be a lot of pulverized glass, metal. Who knows what we're going to find, but we're going to find it.
Yeah.
And then ask the Environmental Protection Agency, because There are organizations for us first responders who, as you guys seen on TV, go down to Congress and hold people accountable. And we're going to say, well, how is it you said that it was safe for our people to go down there, and this is what they were actually breathing in? How is this possibly safe? Who's accountable for this? Who gave the order to say everything was all clear? These are the answers to the questions I want to know for me. And hopefully other people will get closure from that.
Okay. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back. ALJ Service Center, 2100 Belmore Avenue in Belmore. Ray and the crew have an outstanding reputation in the Belmore community, built by hard work, honesty, and professionalism. ALJ specializes in computer diagnostics for today's modern automobiles. Whether it's domestic or foreign, ALJ assures your vehicle is at peak performance when it leaves. ALJ also offers expert restoration and repair on vehicles as well as antique, classic, and muscle cars. Call ALJ for your automotive needs. 516-409-4433. Once again, that number is 516-409-4433.
This is Jerry Ann Casola. She has just finished working on a collection of short stories about the love and joy rescue animals can bring. Each chapter contains a message about how people should and could be kinder to animals. The book is rated G, meaning family friendly. To order Life in the Pits, send $13 to paypal.me/JerryAnn Casola. Welcome to Tristan Morris Photography. We specialize in weddings, sweet 16s, and events of all kinds. Our highly trained team of photographers and videographers customize each shoot specifically for your event. Large or small, indoors or out, trust Tristan Morris Photography to show you and yours in the best light. Call today for your appointment at 516-541-6000. That's 516-541-6000. And enjoy our website at tristanmorrisphotography.com.
Pit of Our Souls, a nonprofit animal rescue that deals primarily with pit bulls but will never turn away any dog, no matter what breed or size. Their primary focus is not only to rescue and rehome those in need, but to educate and rehabilitate to prevent the cycle from continuing. Pit of Our Souls offers boarding, training, and as much assistance as possible to those in need. Call Pit of Our Souls 516-308-6221 or check out their website www.pitofoursoulsrescue.com. And we're back. So we were talking about first responders and 9/11. You told me while we were chatting that you have written a book.
I have.
Okay. Is there a place where we can find the book? What's the book about?
The book is currently with 3 publishers. A 4th copy is with somebody for safekeeping. The beginning few chapters of the book is basically the experience and describing in a little more detail the hell that was 9/11. You know, it's funny. I get asked the question all the time, and I would bet 95% of first responders, when asked the question, "What do you remember most about when you got down to ground zero?" would be the smell. And
Indescribable, describable.
oh, it's well. Here's what people don't realize about, you know, when you watch something on TV like that and it's catastrophic, you get the visual of it, but you don't get the full sense. The human body contains 2.2 gallons of blood. There were 3,000 people lost in the World Trade Center. That's over 6,000 gallons of blood that sat in a puddle in the bottom of the World Trade Center for over a week.
Ew.
That's what we dealt with. You don't lose that smell. And when you smell something similar to that, it brings you right back to that place. And the book goes into a lot more detail of what was seen there, how things were done, the conditions that we were under. You know, I was in the military. I went to Grenada. Active combat was a vacation compared to going down to ground zero.
Wow.
The book describes that. The book goes into details of several of the, we'll call them conspiracy theories,
Yeah.
cover-ups, whatever you want to address them as.
Big time cover-ups.
We touched the Environmental Protection Agency, but there's a lot more to the ground zero story that people are speculating about that I bring to detail. And it's funny because I believe one of the publishers I got through you, and he was talking about doing fact checking, and it's funny how I sent him a copy of the book, and a week later, and you guys can look this up online, the United States Air Force Lieutenant Colonel, a female, has come forward and verified that she was on a mission on September 11th that I described vividly in my book, that people say, no, that's not possible. And now this Lieutenant Colonel has come forward and said, yeah, that's actually what happened.
Wow.
So the information, while some of it is probably going to be unverifiable, because the people that were down there, what people don't realize is that people who were in the military and people who work for the alphabet organizations, none of them wore ID. It's stated in the first or second chapter of my book that the people that I was surrounded by didn't wear ID because they didn't want this to come out down the road that they knew about these things. But everything that's in that book is the truth of what happened.
Okay, hold on one moment. If anybody has a question to ask John, please call in 516-945-9099. 516-945-9099. Call in and ask John a question.
Yeah, I would love to hear from you guys.
Where can we find your book? What is the title?
The title is 9/11, The Untold Story. And as soon as one of these publishers decides that they're going to have the guts to put it out there, we'll give you the information. I'm thinking that if they don't pick it up, I'm probably going to self-print the book.
Well, I bet you my guy is doing some work on it now. He's very good at what he did. He got my book together. It took me a couple of years to write it. So you've had a long time to write.
I actually didn't take me that long to write. It basically took me more time to get up the courage to write it.
Do you think it'll be like an Epstein, like maybe a disappearance?
I don't know, to be quite honest with you. It's going to
Open eyes.
It's going to open eyes. It's going to make people say, I knew it. The problem with a lot of people, and especially when it comes to things like 9/11 and other things that happen in this country, there are two sets of people in this world, left and right. And there's that small bit of us who are in the middle. The left will believe whatever you put on TV. The right will believe whatever the government tells you to believe. And then there are those people in the middle
That like to do research.
do the research and find out what is fact and what is fiction. More people need to come from the left and the right and join the middle. It's one of the biggest problems with this country right now. I don't see political party. I'm not a member of a political party.
Okay.
I believe in results. I believe in truth, honesty, and transparency, something that our government hasn't had for a long time. And knowing what I know and being the places that I've been, 9/11 is not the first government cover-up in a disaster.
What about Area 51?
I can't speak of Area 51 with any expertise. I can give you my opinion on Area 51. My opinion on Area 51 is that if there was nothing to hide, then why were they so adamant about keeping people out of it?
Out of it, yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
if there's nothing to see here, then there's no reason for people not to be there. So there's something there that they don't want you to see. And that's why when they had this big protest out there that they were going to storm Area 51, they were all up in arms about it.
I mean, really, what could be so bad down there?
I don't know. You guys ever watch Transformers?
Who?
You ever watch the movie Transformers? I mean, it's people don't understand that the truth is always out there. You just have to be willing to look for it, and then once you find it, you have to be willing to accept it.
Yeah, a lot of people don't.
A lot of people want to live with those rose-colored glasses and binders on and only see what they want to see. You know, the truth of what's really out there is scary.
Very.
The truth about our government, as we even watch it now, is scary in the fact that they don't really know what the truth is. They want to make you believe what a certain truth is. And some people will believe this certain truth and others will deny the certain truth. Nobody knows for certain what the truth is. You know, in 2039, you know, God willing, we're all here, we'll finally get to find out who killed John F. Kennedy, the biggest...
Do you think they'll ever find Hoffa?
I believe they know where he is. And I don't believe it's in East Rutherford, New Jersey either.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he's really dead, too.
He's definitely dead. I personally think he's a piling in the Verrazano Bridge, but that's just me.
That's a good one. That's the first one I've heard on that.
Yeah, he's in one of the bridge pilings somewhere where then he's not going to be found.
Interesting.
But again, like I say, 9/11 was a situation that could have been avoided. It was a situation that we created, and then it was a situation that our government decided to cover up in many aspects. And I believe wholeheartedly that American people should take back their government, because the founding fathers wanted a government for the people, by the people, and right now it's for the government, by the government. The government, while we are a capitalist nation, we really do have a socialist government, because our government will tell us what to believe, and you'll believe it. A lot of people have become group thinkers, and there's only two things that you can do with people like myself who won't conform.
I like this guy.
You either lock them up or you exterminate them. Because this is the person who will radicalize people. Because I want the truth. I want to know why I'm sick. I want to know who caused me being sick. I want to know who caused 3,128 of my comrades to die. I want to know the answer to this. I want to know who's responsible.
I'd like to know how they got on the planes.
They posed as pilots.
Nobody checks into this?
They were licensed pilots. They dressed, had credentials. You know, they were very well trained in what they did and how they did it. One of the things, and again, we'll scratch a little bit of the surface of the book material. Pilots don't carry briefcases on airplanes.
No.
Okay.
I always see them walking through with their rollies. That's about it.
The pilots who commandeered both planes that hit both World Trade Center towers had metal briefcases with them. Oh. Another fact that people don't know, do you know that since September 11th, 2001, there have been 6 brand new forms of cancer not seen anywhere on the planet other than in first responders at Ground Zero?
Now, my next question is, the Pentagon, they never released any of the footage of what happened there till like 2006.
It's out there.
It was like 2006 it came out.
There is actual video from a parking lot camera at the Pentagon if you go on the dark web, where there is no censorship and the government has no control over what you see. You can find the actual footage. I have a copy.
Very interesting.
A lot of things people don't understand about how things work in our country. People don't realize how brainwashed they really are. If you got on your computer right now and you went onto Google and you Googled black police officer shoots unarmed white suspect, do you realize you cannot find that on the internet?
Oh, it'll never come up.
No, but why? Are you saying it doesn't happen?
Oh, no, it happens.
Okay,
It happens
so
plenty.
the question becomes for your audience, if it happens, why can't you find it?
Anybody want to call in? 516-945-9099. 541, great. 516-945-9099. That is a very interesting question. Now, for me to go on to, quote, a dark web, I am obviously not technically or computer savvy. So how would I get there?
You would have to align yourself with somebody who's that kind of savvy and has the equipment, because if you use your laptop,
It's
you're
going to blow
done.
up. It's going to blow up.
Especially your laptop. Your laptop's got its own personal issues, but that's a whole other point.
Yeah, well, Slappy's its name, and it's not for a reason. You gotta love it.
Like I said, there are things, if people really want to discover stuff, they can discover stuff. You know, we've talked before the show.
You terrorized me before the show.
Yes, I terrorized you before the show. I made mention that one of my ambitions towards getting more answers is to pursue a political avenue. That's why I guess I'll announce on your show.
Ta-da!
I will be opposing Governor Cuomo in the New York State gubernatorial election. I want to know why the New York budget is, by fiscal year 2021, going to be $6 billion in the red. I want to know where the money's going. I want to know how it is we can't balance a budget. I want to know why it takes 22 men and 6 trucks to sweep the median of the Long Island Expressway.
I want to know why they can't have the same medical that I have. Oh, wait, I don't have medical because it's too expensive.
Obamacare at its greatest, but
I can't even afford that.
well, no. Just think about the cost ineffectiveness of a simple thing like cleaning the Long Island Expressway. Each person that's on that expressway is making a minimum of $100 an hour. You have 22 guys. It's $2,200 an hour to clean a 1-mile stretch of road that can be done with 4 people.
I have my girlfriend Joanne. She says she's going to ask her husband how to get on the dark web. Don't do it. Your computer will blow up.
No, just make sure that you have firewalls set in place and antiviruses and all that other good stuff that they tell you to have, that you should have, that you should really think about on your computer.
It doesn't go online. That's why.
It's at some point had to be online. It didn't get that bad by itself.
We'll just say that my ex, we went to Mexico and he loaded a bunch of stuff on it. And when we got home, my motherboard went and it was replaced.
It's still in there.
Yeah. There's something in there.
But 9/11 has made me want to do a lot of things. Like I said, the book was one of those things that I've toyed around with it for many years. And I thought about doing it, and then somebody said, no, you better not do that. They're going to come to your house and, black SUVs, and you're never going to be seen or heard from again. And I'm like, yeah, I said, but I'm willing to take that chance. And now that now that I've become incapacitated by it, I've kind of, now I think it's more predicated out of anger than anything else. And I just, year in and year out, when you watch the families of the people who were lost, and they know that the truth is out there. They're just waiting for somebody to, bring it to them. They know the government's lying to them. They know that nobody wants the truth. I don't understand why in this day and age people don't think that we can handle the truth.
You really think the millennials out there can handle the truth?
But this isn't a millennial issue.
No, it's not. But
It's
you know
not
that
a
they'll
millennial.
cry. You know that they'll cry.
Listen, if the sun doesn't shine, millennials cry. The biggest problem with millennials is that they don't realize that they are their own doom. It's not us. It's not climate change. When you've got somebody who can't change a goddamn tire on the side of the road, you've got an issue.
I can't.
Well, it's funny because I talk about this a lot with my friends. I'm no spring chicken. I've been an electrician 35 years now. And I'm getting to the point where, every year it gets harder and harder for me to do this. And every year I start thinking more and more how I really don't want to do this anymore. The problem is that when we're gone, there's nobody coming up behind us. And there's certainly nobody coming up behind us with our knowledge and our experience of the trade. I mean, I've worked for some fantastic people who made me the electrician that I am. Lots of them I still keep in touch with. I have, one of my first bosses, Gary Morell from Morell Electric.
I see them around a lot.
Him and I talk probably once a month. Still a very, very good friend of mine. Probably one of the most knowledgeable electricians I've ever known. And, he may help make me what I am today. crazy and psychotic.
All right, we're going to take a commercial break, and we're going to come on back. ALJ Service Center, 2100 Belmore Avenue in Belmore. Ray and the crew have an outstanding reputation in the Belmore community, built by hard work, honesty, and professionalism. ALJ specializes in computer diagnostics for today's modern automobiles. Whether it's domestic or foreign, ALJ assures your vehicle is at peak performance when it leaves. ALJ also offers expert restoration and repair on vehicles as well as antique, classic, and muscle cars. Call ALJ for your automotive needs. 516-409-4433. Once again, that number is 516-409-4433.
This is Jerry Ann Casola. She has just finished working on a collection of short stories about the love and joy rescue animals can bring. Each chapter contains a message about how people should and could be kinder to animals. The book is rated G, meaning family friendly. To order Life in the Pits, send $13 to paypal.me/Jerry Ann Casola. Welcome to Tristan Morris Photography. We specialize in weddings, sweet 16s, and events of all kinds. Our highly trained team of photographers and videographers customize each shoot specifically for your event. Large or small, indoors or out, trust Tristan Morris Photography to show you and yours in the best light. Call today for your appointment at 516-541-6000. That's 516-541-6000. And enjoy our website at tristanmorrisphotography.com.
Pit of Our Souls, a nonprofit animal rescue that deals primarily with pit bulls but will never turn away any dog, no matter what breed or size. Their primary focus is not only to rescue and rehome those in need, but to educate and rehabilitate to prevent the cycle from continuing. Pit of Our Souls offers boarding, training, and as much assistance as possible to those in need. Call Pit of Our Souls 516-308-6221 or check out their website www.pitofoursoulsrescue.com. And we're back with John Nistico, and we're talking 9/11 stuff. So we have a few more minutes left. How are you feeling now? How is your sleeping patterns? Nightmares and stuff like that?
I don't sleep well, mostly because, like I said, I've had a couple of holes drilled in my sinus cavity. So that's part of my problem. I just actually a couple of weeks ago had my lung scan, my 3-year lung scan for 9/11. They told me I got the lungs of a healthy 84-year-old man.
Oh.
That my oxygen intake is at about 74% of what it should be. Nightmares, I don't get them much anymore. You know, unless I'm around something that triggers it off. I don't get them like I used to get them in the beginning. In the beginning, it was almost nightly.
Yeah.
But, you know, over the course of time heals all wounds. You know, you learn to start suppressing that stuff and finding ways to deal with it, and therapists and
You went to therapy?
Huh?
You
went
went
to
to
therapy and still go to
Therapy's
therapy.
good though sometimes. I needed it for a little bit. I had some issues. I liked it. I really liked my therapist. Then I lost my medical.
And now you don't go to see a therapist.
Nah, I can't.
And now
Can't
you're
afford
just
it.
a loon again.
Hey, I'm a Fruit Loop.
There you go. No, but I know a lot of people who still deal with that. I mean, I've been diagnosed with PTSD from 9/11. Hell, who wouldn't be after being down there? I really, it's tough. It's tough. I got a good friend of mine who was down there who worked for the city. I've known him 42 years and don't know if we're going to make it to 43. Basically, he's been under so much treatment and on so many different medications that his bones are just literally starting to deteriorate.
Sometimes the medication they give you is worse than...
He's been on prednisone for 8.5 years, and
tough.
he's lost all his teeth because it's rotted out all his bone
prednisone's
structure.
bad. Prednisone is bad.
Yeah, prednisone and I aren't good friends. They gave that to me for my first sinus bout, and they found out that I'm not really good with prednisone.
Yeah, if you stop that suddenly, it gets really...
I can't take it. I can't take it at all. Never mind stopping it.
Yeah.
I can't take it. I almost killed a guy. I mean, literally, almost put him in the hospital. Because
I had it. You're supposed to start at I think it's 6 pills, 5, right? And I think by the time it was the next day I took the 5 pills, I was sweating and everything. I was like, you know what? I'm not taking this stuff no more. So I didn't.
Yeah, no, they don't.
Take
They don't
it,
want me.
and that
They don't
was
want me to
worse.
take stuff like that. And I try not to take anything.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, all my friends make fun of me because I still have all but 3 pain pills from all the pain pills they gave me for all my operations.
3. Wow.
I only took 3.
Wow.
The 3 times I came home that I was in really, really bad pain, I took them to get a night's sleep.
Right.
But I probably still have 60 of them sitting in my medicine cabinet. I don't take them. I refuse.
You know what? Sometimes just a shot of NyQuil will do the trick.
It's, a couple of Tylenol PMs.
They don't work on me. And everybody's different.
Everybody's different. That's what makes the world go round.
Yeah, it sure does.
But I don't know. I think one of the, we touched on it before. Would I do it again? And I have done it again. 9/11 would definitely be different. I think I would. I think as I'm sitting here talking to you, I think I would go if it happened again. I just think now, hindsight being 2020, I don't think I believe anything I was told about it. I would just prepare myself the way my experience tells me I should prepare myself and not what people tell me. Because now I look back just on this conversation and I say to myself, gee, I said I was one of those people who believed exactly what they told me on TV. I go, so I was at that time the exact thing that I despise now, all these people who believe what they see on TV. All these people who think that, there's a certain Democratic person who bit her computers and smashed her Blackberries who's innocent, and that person who didn't do anything is guilty. And the media will want you to believe one thing, the government will want you to believe another, and in the middle there's the actual truth.
And it'll come out. The truth always does come out.
In 2024, I wouldn't be opposed to getting into that big house on Pennsylvania Avenue and maybe opening up the doors and letting people see what's inside. Maybe that's what this country needs. Maybe they need a person to get in there, not a person. I like the guy who's in there now. I like what he does. I don't like how he does it.
He's a little rough. Be a little bit more
yeah,
diplomatic.
abrasive is definitely a word that comes to mind when I describe him. But for the most part, he's fairly transparent. He says what he means. He does what he says, and
Our economy's booming.
the best part of our economy booming is China's economy is in the freaking tank. You know, everybody says, "Oh, the tariffs are bad. The tariffs are bad." But when you look at the results that tariffs have had, China is in an economic downward spiral because, let's face it, they did a show, and I forget which home do-it-yourselfer did it, where they took everything out of the house that was made in another country and not in the United States. And the only two things that were in the house were sheetrock and wood. Everything else was made somewhere else.
Right.
One of the things that I hate in my industry, and thank God NAFTA no longer exists, electrical components, the parts are made here in the United States. And I don't know how this could be cost effective, but they ship the parts to Mexico and have the people in Mexico put them together and then ship them back here to be distributed. First of all, how's that cost effective? And secondly, how do you manage quality control in a country outside of your own? But
That's
perhaps
interesting.
somewhere along the line, somebody needs to open the doors and say, you know what? Millennials need a dose of reality, and those of us who are baby boomers and on our way out can probably use a little closure. And maybe it's time that somebody just opens the door and says, you know what? Yeah, there's aliens. We've known about it. That's what's at Area 51. You got us. You know, Joe Schmo killed Kennedy. You know, Hillary's guilty. You know, just somebody just needs to open the door and say, you know what? Let's let the people know what's going on in their government.
I think a lot has to do with, you know, TV and everything that, you know,
Well,
they shouldn't say what's actually going on.
Well, here's the funny part of that.
We're almost out of time.
Wow, it became interesting. One of the funny things about controlling the media, censoring what you see and read, and disarming the masses are the first three things every dictator in the history of dictatorships has done in the world. Control the media, create division amongst the masses, and disarm the people so there is no revolution.
We'll have to have you back because we are unfortunately out of time and we got to get the next show in.
There you go.
But thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for
having me. It was
having me.
extremely eye-opening. And next up is Noel, and he'll be in a minute. So we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.